Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is Dr. Latreciano, and I'm here to discuss session six for THS 8103 and nursing 8452. We again hope you had a good residency weekend and it helped you make sense of some of what's going on in your coursework. Um, uh, by now you should be starting to understand the concept of a particular problem. We had one activity that addressed some problems, dementia, um, uh, um, obesity, intimate partner violence, et cetera, et cetera. So what we do in session six here is continue the process in preparing your assignment that is to present a cross-disciplinary research approach. If we look back to last week, I just want to highly recommend, that you watch the PowerPoint presentation by Dr. Debbie Diaz-Granados. She's a past instructor of this course. It's listed here. And what she does is go through some tips on how to get started in this project. And hopefully the readings have informed moving into now the development of these first few slides. So in each of these weeks that we're in right now, what is happening is we are basically walking you through the readings and how to apply it to the presentation that you're going to provide the week before residency. If you are in my groups, you've received an email from me suggesting that you put your heads together and decide when you would like to meet with me the week before residency so that we can review your individual presentations. Those of you who have Dr. Lee as your instructor for those activities, she will be in contact with you, or if you haven't heard from her yet, feel free to reach out to her. But let's go back to to session six, which is the session that starts this Thursday, October 8th. So the objectives here are to investigate controversies associated with integrating knowledge across disciplines, and the next four steps in Stotek and Repko's framework. So eh, so um, employing the concept of adequacy, we call it, in decision making about how to integrate ideas, to analyze the problem and evaluate insights, identify conflicts and common ground between cross disciplinary insights, and identify the conditions necessary for performing knowledge integration. So now that you've settled into an idea, a problem, people have asked me, should it be a research problem? And the answer is yes. Can it be condition oriented? Yes. It can be systems oriented. It's totally up to you what your topic would be. And you're going to be doing some literature review associated with it. And you are going to go down this path of the different steps that Repco and Stotek outline. So in this week, you're going to be looking at chapters 7 through 11, and they correlate with the next slides associated with your presentation. So as you can see, by now, you should have defined a problem, justified a cross-disciplinary approach, identify relevant disciplines, conduct a preliminary literature search, and identified how adequacy will affect your ability to solve this problem. Those were in the previous slides. Now we're moving on to slides 7, 8, 9, and 10, as you can see by the outline here. And each one of those slides is representative of the next step in the method. So for those of you who are wondering, how this correlates with your assignment that you're going to submit for a grade, we're basically walking you through the assignment. So these weeks, what you're working on at home, your homework, as it were, is directly contributing to the assignment. Also, again, for those group meetings the week before residency, it's an opportunity for each one of you to give your presentation, for us to ask some questions, have some discussion. So we don't have to do all of that on the weekend. Typically, if we were not in a virtual environment, we would do all that work on the weekend. But what this does is take some of the pressure off the weekend. Plus, it's a nice opportunity to have smaller groups that can discuss your work. And what we'll be doing is giving you an activity where we can bring it all back to the larger class on Saturday of that week. So don't worry right now about looking that far in advance, but rather continuing on your road through the work you're doing using the Repco and Stotec book. Okay. Also, as a benchmark, we've talked about this over the weekend. Your team observation assignment, which is your 5 to 7 page paper. That's another individual um, assignment. By now, you should be looking ahead. You should have identified the measurement techniques that you will be useful in your team observation and transitioning them into tools you plan to use. In addition, you should be contacting your teams, making arrangements for collecting some data, some information, observation, as I keep saying, and also you should be collecting some information now from your team. These benchmarks are just here to help you keep on track. This course, 8103, in the THS program, is sort of backloaded when it comes to assignments and things, meaning most of your assignments are going to come in November, and that's totally intentional to give your other courses chance to get some of their deliverables um, in earlier in the semester. We've tried to spread everything out. If you have any questions, please provide questions in the question board in the question thread in the discussion board. And as you can see, yesterday I sent out some information to help sort of organize the assignments. For some reason, there seems to be more confusion this semester about the assignments. So Dr. Lee was very gracious to put something together that is much more bulleted to help you understand and to dispel any confusion. I also want to recommend, to everyone to take a little time to walk through all your courses. Go through each session, look ahead, see what's coming. I know a lot of the questions I've received regarding, what is necessary or expected is really spelled out in the sessions. So please take some time to look ahead. It's a lot of work. You're carrying, all of you are carrying 9 credits of doctoral work. This is a lot of credit. This is a full-time load, as we would call it. Usually this is the time in the semester where we remind you that you probably are going to have to negotiate some of the other things going on in your life to make room for this time. We do expect for all 3 courses about a minimum of 20 to 21 hours of work on your own throughout each week. That's a lot of time, and it can be very taxing as well. So we highly recommend that you start to think about your work arrangements, your family arrangements, the people that surround you, your children, your significant others, your family, maybe even having discussions with your employer about the space you're going to need to be able to successfully um, uh, um, work at this PhD. It's not an easy thing to do, and it is going to take some active reorganization on your part. So we can help you and give you some ideas about that. And again, if you have any questions either about the assignment you're working on right now regarding the interdisciplinary or cross-disciplinary research design or anything else regarding the course, please use the question thread and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you have a great week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the boards. And as always, stay safe and take care of yourself and your loved ones. Okay, bye bye.